Hi everyone, this is Mindy Egan and welcome back to the My Favorite Things YouTube channel. Today I'm creating a card using new and old products with a beautiful wintry color scheme. I'm using a couple images off of these new stamp set, This Hugs for You. I have this really adorable bear hugging a penguin, and then another individual penguin and a small bird. I stamped them on 80-pound white cardstock in the MFT Extreme Black ink, and then started coloring with my Copic markers. I was going for a very soft look for the bear, so I used E42 and E40 to start my colors, but then I came back in with E44 just to add a little bit more shading. I normally color really heavy-handed and choose really dark colors, but I'm trying to stay with a very soft color scheme today. For the penguin, I used N4 and N2 with a little dot of orange for the beak, and then I'm doing the hat in reds, trying to leave some of the areas white. I used R29, 24, and then I did add a little bit of cheeks and a little bit of pink to the ears with R22, and I have BG000 to fill in the penguin and then some white spots. For my card design today, it is just a really easy card to recreate, and I thought these little critters would be so fun and cute on it. So I used the coordinating die to die cut them out, and then I'm going to die cut Sending Christmas Joy on the front of my card. I have snow cone cardstock cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm centering this large die cut word in the front of it and just going to hold that down with some low tack tape. After I die cut it, I'm just going to pop out all of the letters, and I do try and save the inside pieces like the A and the D and the O because I like to put those back in. Now for a sentiment, I have some red hot cardstock that I'm prepping with an anti-static powder tool. I want to heat emboss my sentiment in white, and I really like to use white pigment ink to stamp. It just seems to fill in everything a lot better. I seem to get just a better impression. So I stamped that down, being very, very gentle. And I am going to stamp it one more time. Pigment ink stays wet longer, so it makes great ink for heat embossing. After I stamp that down, I'm going to sprinkle on my white detail embossing powder and just tap off any of the excess. And I have my heat tool warming up off on the side for a few seconds, and then I'm going to bring it to my card and then melt that embossing powder. Off screen, I'm going to trim it down into a thin strip, and for the card front, I'm going to line the back of this entire card panel with thin foam strips. I'm going to go in between all of the words and along the sides just to make sure that it's popped up really well and I don't have any saggy areas on the front. Now to attach this and make sure I have it centered, I have a piece of white cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I put a little bit of removable dot runner on the back and place this in my mini Misty so it's holding in place. Then I'm going to remove all the backing from that foam tape on my die cut panel, and I'm going to line this up on my card front. I just find this trick is really helpful, especially when I don't have such a huge white area. This really helps make sure that I have even margins all around the edge. Now, I definitely could have turned this into a shaker card, but I really wanted just kind of a soft Christmas look to this card, so that's why I'm leaving it white behind my die cut panel. I did attach that center of the O and also the D, adding some foam tape. The rest of the pieces, like the A and the R, were just way too small, and I'm leaving those off, which kind of drives my OCD nuts a little bit, but I'm going to roll with it. I'm going with this. I'm trying to move past perfection. Now I'm just coming in and attaching all of my little critters with a tape runner. I did the little bear over the O so I can still see the shape of the O. And for my sentiment, I wanted to add a little bit of dimension to it, but not a ton. So I have these really, really thin foam squares that I trimmed down and I'm adding to the back of my sentiment. If you don't have the real thin ones, you could always add strips of cardstock behind it to just kind of pop that up a little bit. So after I attach that down, that is going to finish off my card. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I really love this soft blue with that bright red for a color scheme. I think it just really screams wintry Christmas card. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon.